And congratulations on your star turn as Princess Margaret in season 1 of The Crown. How did you go about preparing for such a huge role?
Well, it was really daunting, and luckily we're all in the same boat, so that helped loads. But also, we just tried to do as much research as possible. And The Crown's great because they have like 7 researchers, so we have a lot of support. But I just read everything I could. I listened to all her favourite music. I had pictures of her off my bedroom wall.
Oh, really?
I was so nervous. I just had to try and absorb. You know, what was essential was trying to like capture the spirit of her as opposed to do an impression.
She had spirit in spades, didn't she?
Oh, she does. She just got the best spirit ever. It's such a strong personality, isn't it? She's such a force, really. It was such a gift. I love her. I completely fell in love with her, and I really didn't know anything about her before.
Based on everything you knew about her, is she somebody you'd like to have known in real life?
Yes. Imagine going to a dinner party with her. I think she was the best dinner party guest for all the best reasons. Offending everybody, you know, being really nice to some people and ignoring others. I think in the same sentence she could make you feel amazing and completely cut you at one go. But I'd probably be quite scared to sit next to her.
Yeah, because she had a cutting wit, didn't she?
Yes, she did. Very dry humour. But I think she doesn't care what other people think, which is quite rare, I think. It was a lovely trait to play anyway
She was the Queen. She was the Queen's younger sister, therefore she didn't get the crown, so to speak. And as you portrayed, she had this sense of loneliness, almost fragility, didn't she? Uncertain in her place in the world.
Yes, completely. I think it was a really interesting mix of somebody that was such a strong person and very confident and very in her power and grand, extremely royal. You know, one of the most royal of all of the royals. And yet, to me, it was always so fascinating learning about really this sort of little girl inside that had lost her dad, went through something horrific in our season 1 anyway, with her sister saying that she can't marry the man that she's been waiting for, who's been waiting in another country as well. And so there was definitely a vulnerability and a pain really to her inside that I don't know whether she healed from. I mean, that's just maybe she did. But for me, I felt that was such a tough situation to be in, and
I can
in
imagine.
This series we kind of really go deep with that wound.
Yes, Peter Morgan, the creator and writer of The Crown, says Princess Margaret in season 2 experiences love but also lots of pain. As you said, that devastating breakup with group captain Peter Townsend at the end of season 1, but Princess Margaret, as we head into the 60s, finds the man she was to marry.
Yes, she does. I know, and it's strange to think that if that hadn't happened with Peter, she wouldn't have met Tony in the way she does, for better or worse, which this season slightly alludes to at the end. But he's amazing. I mean, Matthew Good, who plays Tony, is amazing. We had so much fun. And it really is a meeting of forces, in a way. I think he's the first man she's ever felt intimidated by and hasn't really known what to do around. And that was... Matthew did that effortlessly because he's so charismatic and... yeah, such a kind of life force himself.
Yeah, Anthony Armstrong-Jones, the real-life character who went on to become Lord Snowdon. One of Lord Snowdon's biographers, Anne de Courcy, Vanessa, writes that, speaking of both Tony and Princess Margaret, each was a person of extraordinary sexual magnetism with a libido to match. Is that a fair description?
I think so. Judging by everything I read. That's what's so amazing about Margaret. You never describe the Queen and Philip like that, would you? I think that's why we love them as people, because it's fun, isn't it? It's naughty. I loved playing the naughty one. It was so lucky. Yeah, the sexual chemistry was really important actually, because it felt different to the Peter Townsend situation, which felt more like a father figure and a comfort. Suddenly you have this quite dangerous man who represents everything your family doesn't. And because Margaret was always trying to push the boundaries and escape, and in this season she says break away, Tony represents the way out for her, really.
Yeah, very
while
much so.
always being a princess and not able to give it up. So.
Hey, Vanessa, have you had any indication, Peter Morgan, others who worked on the show, any indication the royal family has watched, heard about this series and what they think about Claire Foy's portrayal of the Queen, yours of Princess Margaret's?
Well, I don't know what they think about how I do Princess Margaret, and I'd be terrified to hear, I think, in case she was like, my sister's nothing like that, but which is a risk, and always was when we started. But earlier this year, we did hear that the Queen had watched it. And I think Peter was like, don't tell anyone yet because we want to be respectful. But I think suddenly everyone's talking about it. And Matt Smith said the other day that he had heard that the Queen watched it, but
My name is Elizabeth.
Philip hadn't. And I love that. I love the idea of Philip at home just going, not watching that. Oh, crap. And the Queen be like, come on, darling, come here. The thought of it is completely mad. I don't know what they think of Claire Foy, but I don't see how anybody could not like her performance and like her as a person. She's truly the best.
Peter, season 2 is bittersweet for you, Vanessa, as it is for Claire Foy and Matt Smith, because none of you will be around in season 3 because the characters, of course, age, and therefore this will be your last season as Princess Margaret. You must be, given how much you connected with this character, so sad to leave her behind.
Yeah, I cried on the last day. It was pathetic. Claire was just knackered and was, I think, quite numb, but I was crying. Typical Margaret fashion. But we always knew when we signed on, we always knew it was only ever going to be 2 seasons. And I think because of that, I just wanted to make the most of it. I felt so lucky and truly honoured to be at the beginning of her journey in the show. And also it's so cool that 2 other actors get to do it, because I've never played such a good character that's been so sort of like fulfilling and interesting and complicated. So I just feel really happy for them, whoever it is. We don't know yet.
Yeah.